In every season of the year, there are certain isekai anime with action genre that you can enjoy in every platform. If you look more inside, there are many very good fight anime with epic, visually stunning, awesome motion animation, and even adding a storyline that raises the emotions of the audience. Here there are top 10 epic isekai anime fights in 2022, Part 1, with latest update. Without further delay, let's get started this video. Spare me, Great Lord. The fierce battle between the Heavenly Network and the thieves in the middle of the city at midnight. Two of them were successfully brought down by Shifei, with the power of his paper explosion. The boss and two criminals were escaped from the ambush of the Heavenly Network, and the police also surrounded them. In the midst of the incident, Lu Shu came while using the second layer of Nebula. Instead of coming to help, he was considered a threat for the Heavenly Network, because they seemed foreign with his magic barrier. The boss villain managed to survive the attacks of Shifei and his comrades. His strength and durability was really troubled the enemies around him, the boss going overpowered when under pressure moment and can defeat them with close combat and waiting for their mismoved. Lu Shu fought two women who were part of Shifei's comrades, dodging more and doing less attacks that were not too fatal. Until a moment when Shifei made a mistake that actually made a counterattack and harmed all of his comrades. In the end, the only survivors were the boss and Lu Shu. Lu Shu was intimidated the attack with his great aura. The boss was getting ready for the best punch. Unexpectedly, Lu Shu activated the legendary sword weapon named Corpse Dog. This attack has a fatal effect on the enemy, and the boss fell down and died in one hit. The greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. Before their own final duel between Irina and Ginny, demon cultists appear in the audience and Jessica stabs Alhide in the back. She was revealed her true identity, Elzard the Frenzied Dragon King. Their plan the whole time was to kidnap Irina, because their family is the descendants of the famous true royalty, who carried the blood of evil gods. I love this episode too much. You will see the epic battle of Serious Mode from Ard Meteor. First, since he was end-raced directly using 9 cast, which quickly annihilated Elzard's army in one hit, without a fight back. A slightly irritated, Elzard launched a barrage of attacks. Ard countered her attack with a Giga Flare, then threw the Holy Spear at Elzard and sent it flying up into the sky. Elzard, who had been cornered, transformed into a white dragon. She was immediately launched a Dragon Burst attack. Ard managed to resist it perfectly by activating the commander magic, who called Lydia. Ard step by step activated his true power like a demon Lord Barbatos in the past. He also told a little about the story of Lonely King. Elzard managed to dodge Executioner Ray's attack and charged back towards the Ard Meteor. Ard changes mode into phase 2, he was transformed like an Alucard and using Brave Demon full body. All of Elzard's attacks had been read and well analyzed by Lydia. The battle was in its final stages, making them launch their ultimate attack. Ard activates Ultimatum Zero, which has been charged in 100%. His attack was instantly knocked out the Frenzied Dragon King, and made a huge explosion around him. Princess Connect, Redive Season 2. The 1-by-1 duel between Labrieista vs Kaiser is very epic. The Queen Labyrinth, who can freely create any possible object, these objects very skillfully to defend and attack, even to move opponents to other dimensions she wants. Labrieista managed to corner Kaiser with a domain expansion similar like anime Jujutsu Kaisen, where she created the space and time where success locked in his labyrinth. Kaiser was able to dodge the Queen Labyrinth's insistently attacks until the end. Kaiser counterattacked with the cloning power of the Metamaragnant, like Gilgamesh's noble phantasm. Thousands of swords in one strike rained down on Labrieista. Despite being cornered, Labrieista managed to dodge the barrage of sword rain, and created a giant object similar to the Sea Rock, to defend and sweep away all the sword rain. Slightly off guard, Labrieista was cornered again. There was a big bang attack between the two of them. The two large objects resembling a planet collided with each other, and there was a power struggle between two of them. Labrista didn't just fight, but has planned everything with well. Knowing all of Kaiser's attacks came from the surrounding shadow, she fired off too many consecutive large-scale technique, because it was forced to take measure by Labrista guidance. They are holding the shadow, the source of Kaiser magic, at bay. She takes advantage of Kaiser bad condition, which is already getting depressed, and hope only run away. Kaiser committed dirty work with emotional counterattack, where she can suddenly summon Carol in front of Labrista and stopping her attacks. Labrista is stabbed in the back by Kaiser's clone, and she must accept his defeat and lay down on the bay. The Last Summoner. This is my gorgeous recommendation for you as being bored with anime harem. Telling story about a talented young cook's encounter with a hungry girl who popped up in his kitchen changes his ordinary life forever. Dora, a summoned spirit and a truly cute goddess, now calls him master. As fate would have it, when he becomes a summoner by accident, there is no turn back in life. It turned out at the same time a summoner appeared named Missy, who had a summoned spirit resembling a plant. Ajia was cornered by the attacks of the thorny root whips and the blade-sharp rain of leaves. Dora, who was busy looking for the item she wanted to fight against, couldn't help much at that time. Missy immediately attacked by summoning a tree monster towards Dora. Dora could only dodge until she was pressed because she was already motionless. At a crucial moment, Aji managed to get an item similar to his weapon like a kitchen knife, and split the root of the tree monster. Aji and Dora managed to find their chemistry while fighting. He was used a combo, instantly his speed and power increased drastically. Aji and Dora managed to defeat them. Not long after that, Missy and her summoned spirit also left from there. The world of otome games is tough for Mob. Getting emotion problems between Angelica and Marie, because unrequited love of the noble's handsome sons. In the end, Bartford took advantage of this incident to increase his level, which since the beginning of his reincarnation into the world, he was only a side character. Finally, 1 vs 5 battle took place alternately against Mecha. Between Bartford against the 5 the noble's son. At first Bartford was pretended because his Mecha was strange and large abnormal, and used a scope weapon. From the start Bartford, who was accompanied by Lufzian, felt confident and always intimidating his enemies. The first fight, Bartford can win easily with 1 strike. The second and third battles ended the same, because the enemy only attacked blindly without using a mature strategy. The red Mecha ended tragically. He broke all the parts of the engine, until the pilot had to get out of the cockpit. A shameful incident. Greg, who has no self-respect, attacks Bartford with his robotic iron fracture. The blue Mecha was successfully provoked into anger by the Bartford intimidation, because Chris was known to be a calm person among the 4 of them. After his emotions going up, he attacked without a long thought, and as a result, the blue Mecha's sword was successfully broken and Chris was immediately gave up. The 4th battle, one of the noble sons getting dirty job were planting a bomb on the leg of the Bartford Mecha. But all these actions were useless, and Bartford's Mecha had highest durability than Mecha resistance of the era. Bartford's last fight was a bit serious because he was face to face with the prince, who's more strongest than 4 opponents that Bartford had defeated. The fight was emotional because 2 of them gave each other their own disquiet, as did Angelica. Bartford, who had exceeded his patience at hearing the prince's reasoning, he also ordered Lufzian to make his ultimate attack. The impact made the prince's Mecha was broken like a glass. The absolute victory was in the hands of Bartford. She professed herself pupil of the wise man. This is one of the epic battle of this anime series. Mira is the reincarnation of a famous summoning mage named Dunbath. It great showing time her strongest ability against the Wolf Pain. The demon suddenly attacks and Mira alone fights it. At first, Wolf Pain underestimated Mira because of her small and cute body. Even her friends were worried about her fighting the demon itself. Mira unleashes all her melee abilities and can dodge all Wolf Pain's attacks with great ease. One of my favorite Myra's attacks is Wind-Clad and Hidden Evil Release, which can freeze opponents in front of them for a while. Not long after that, Wolfpain was stabbed from behind the Black Knight, who's summoned by Myra. One of my favorite Myra attacks is Wind-Clad and Hidden Evil Release, which can freeze opponents in front of them for a while. The Black Knight, who had been summoned by Myra, directly stabbed Wolfpain from the back, and it was made him lose badly. The strongest sage, with the weakest crest. Continuing on their journey, they reach the ruins hiding the device, and Mathias is forced to conceal the fact it was he who built the ruins. Using his device, Mathias confirms the master demon's name is Zardias, and he was sealed long ago because he was too powerful to be killed. Mathias is certain he is too weak to defeat Zardias, and even if he was strong enough, their battle would likely destroy the world and push humanity to extinction. Desperate, Mathias and Iris were unable to withstand the Zardians' power and suffered fatal injuries. Taking advantage of the negligence of Zaradian, who managed to stab Mathias with his sword, Mathias had to pay with his life. Thanks to the help of Alma and Luri, who come with right time, gave Gaius the legendary sword. Suddenly, Mathias comes back to life, revealing the sword was the most powerful he ever created. If the wielder dies, their life force is used to resurrect them. Zardias is defeated, but before dying warns Mathias another demon will just replace him. The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. The Spirit Tortoise awakens as the armies prepare their assault. Eclair leads the main army to distract and intercept the tortoise, while Naofumi, his party, and Ost lure away the incoming familiars. Naofumi also fashions his cart with a shield hero flag which inspires the soldiers. However, after luring it into a canyon, the armies have trouble keeping the tortoise at bay, resulting in losing over half their manpower. The commander of the Spirit Tortoise Kingdom sacrifices himself to activate explosives, which trap the tortoise in the canyon. But then, the tortoise unleashes its magic power that begin decimating the armies with its long-range attacks. While the armies scramble, Naofumi orders their second phase of the plan, which is for the magic users to unleash a judgment attack, blasting the side of the tortoise's neck. Naofumi, empowered by Ost, and Raphtalia and Philo, empowered by Rishia, pierced through the wound hard enough until the tortoise's head is sliced off. The group mourn over Ost, who was to disappear after the tortoise's death, but seeing her still there causes them to realize the tortoise is still alive. Arifuritas Season 2. Hajime had to fight Noit, one-on-one. She was one of the messengers of the gods. Hajime felt that his opponent possessed a magic breaker whose power was limitless. He provided resistance by performing long-range continuous shooting with his various weapons. However, Noit managed to dodge all of these attacks without taking any damage. All of his weapons were successfully crushed by Noit's sword. Hajime scanned with the magic eye to find out his enemy's weakness, which was located under her chest. He was already reached his limit, after bombarded with close combat attacks by Noit with the blow of her sword. Until the main character of this anime finds a gap behind Noit's sword which is cracked. Not wasting this opportunity, Hajime took out a disc which he threw at his enemy. Noit was careless because he didn't think the disc had a function to be able to move objects. Hajime also let out an unexpected shot through the disc and Noit being cornered until both his swords were crushed. With a quick response, Noit was locked with Hajime's magic. He made his final attack with Pile Bunker that was managed to destroy half of Noit's wings and pierce his vital weakness. Having nothing left to hold him back, Hajime fights Noit and defeats her after a costly battle. Fate Grand Order Final Singularity, Grand Temple of Solomon. These the final journey of the Fate Grand Order franchise were packaged in a movie. Telling the story of the adventures of Fujiwara Rinka and Mash Kirilite, who have reached the final singularity stage to prevent Gaitia, who incarnated as a fake King Solomon, from destroying all mankind. In these movie, I captured 3 epic anime fight in here. The first is the Battle of the Servants with another traitor Lev Laner. Fujiwara summoned servant reinforcements such as Alexander on Rider class, Charles Henri Sanson on Assassin class, and Vlad III on Lancer class. In the end, Lev Laner was defeated and transformed his body into 72 god pillars. Second, after knowing the true identity of Gatia, then the servants fight against that monster. Here you see the epic appearance of the servants working together with mixed magic and close combat attacks that overthrow one villain, Gatia. Gatia was fight like Thanos. He was managed to one last standing, and avenge the fierce resistance of the servants, which in the end, he was able to stop them in a shortcut by deactivated the summoning magic of the servants worn on Fujiwara's special armor. That's what makes the servants was disappeared, because the supreme of the summoning spell is Goetia itself. The third, the final stage battle of Gatia, which after his immortality was deactivated by the true King Solomon, who all this time hiding behind the character Archamon Romani. The King Solomon removed Gatia immortality with release of 10 sacred rings. Fujiwara the Master stepped forward to defeat Gatia with the great shield left behind from Masha's previous sacrifice. Assisted by the support of the remaining servants, Fujiwara managed to defeat Gatia by the great shield was staving into his body.